Mess up on that.
Start recording.
Are we doing both?
Okay.
Ooh, yes we are. We are live from the Center of Peace and we are recording. And this is May 8th. And we're coming into the time again of the full moon and Buddha's birthday and Mother's Day and a lot of enlightenment. We're in a incredible time of revealment. So if you've been having another level or layer of ups and downs and around and about, I will guarantee you it's going on in my own life. But what I've been doing, and again, this is not a practice thing, the more adversarial things come at you, the more difficult things are happening. What I've had to do is I've not shut down. I've tried to stay totally open. I've tried to stay centered, and whatever is coming at me, it's like watching a movie. I'm not detached in a way that's blocking what's happening. The information, the situations are happening. Basically, I've been trying to refinance my house for 2.5 years. And we finally thought, like, 2-3 weeks ago it was going to be done. And we've just had thing after thing, and people in the middle of doing it today found out somebody quit and resigned. So it's been interesting. So what I finally have been doing, I just turned it over to Spirit and I said, you know what, maybe this isn't the right plan. Just let me win the lottery and I'll pay off my mortgage. That's a good plan. Maybe I won't need to refine my house. There's a reason I'm not, this isn't happening. But anyway, it's just a little example of many wild and woolly things that are going on for everyone I know right now. Whatever you have been, whatever's been hanging around you, waiting to be solved, waiting to be finished, it's now landed. Let's just say it's landed in this level. So if you've been thinking about changes, you're not thinking anymore. They are here, okay? And whatever, we've talked for months about how things are transparent, how we're transparent, how we're not separate from things, how everything is one big pile of our stuff that we're having to cope with and embrace. And I guarantee you, the more you embrace and see yourself at one with even things that might appear negative, the more you have that connection, it's going to move faster. So that's what happens. And what happens historically in my life since I was a little girl, they've always called me the death angel. If there's something not right, I can walk into a business or a house or a thing or connect, and if something's hanging there, it will just end. So I guess I'll take responsibility for a couple people resigning. I don't know. It's interesting. It happens. Anything I've ever been involved with, that just seems to be part of the Scorpio energy that I come along with, is that I go in, talk about moving and shaking stuff, but sometimes it's interesting. So, but you'll find that in your own individual life right now, you're not going to feel like you're backed up against the wall. That was one of the most difficult things, I think, this winter, because of the weather, and because of the perpetual winter and the perpetual cold and the ongoing snow. You would start to come up out of some of the depression, or not really a depression, just we were all ready for sunshine. And here would come another bout of the weather. And I think people were, the storms were gathering in the sense of storms of change, the energy of change, and you would make headway and certain things would move. Well, now there's no barriers. So what you're going to find is that there's just tidal wave after tidal wave of the changes, but they're going to take you where you've wanted to go. You're not going to feel like you're being bounced around on the sea of perpetual turmoil. You're going to feel resolution. But one of the most common things that I know that people have been experiencing the last couple of weeks are feeling very, very hopeful, very positive, very good, and not even understanding why something's triggering them, having a big feeling of anxiety. and it's come in different waves and different ways to people. And mine has been, because I've never been one to get panic attacks or things like that, but mine has been, and I'm pretty good at picking up on what's pushing my buttons. Just a sense of, almost in the body, feeling a body sensation of high alert or what's going on kind of thing, right? So what I've done in those moments of feeling that, I've gone, okay, what is going on? Maybe there's something going on. Because sometimes maybe it's not a panic attack. Maybe it's something else. So, for example, I got a big wave of this a few nights ago. So all of a sudden I feel like I see the dogs, and they're like out on the deck again. They're out. They're like pacing and looking, and all of a sudden I see a figure go by my window, a full figure. Like, okay, high alert. There's a figure went by my window. But it went by like this. It was really fast. And I saw how the cats and how the dogs were reacting, and I realized it was spirit energy, right? Instead of a person. But even in my world, this was full figured, and I really feel like it was my mother. She looked younger, and yeah, but I'm pretty sure it was my mother. My brother, who, it's very interesting with my brother, he's an attorney, but he's very intuitive. He's had 3 very distinctive dreams with my mother, and 2 of them have my brother who passed over, very intricate dreams. So mine, the situation with my mother, I've not dreamt about her, but it's like she's here. She's moving things around. For those of you who don't know, my mother passed over, made transition on April 10th. And so I guess it would be about 4 weeks tonight. Yep, probably like a month tonight. And it's been a very interesting process, because at first she was doing, I first thought, I have to question things in my own mind. I have a healthy skepticism of things. I don't, again, like to be euphanoid and think, oh, everything that's happening, it's happening for a reason, or if something moves, it was her doing something. So I've had to kind of go through my own test. So I think that's why she finally just full figure went by my window. I was like, okay, don't give me a heart attack. I was like, whoa, I see you. You're here. So yeah, there's a lot of, as we've talked about, healing the illusion that we're separate from self, others, and spirit, and the transparency that's going on. There's more and more and more and more activity, let's say, that's always been there that you're going to notice. So not just because my mother has just made transition, it's stepped up in this level. So if you are looking at things and you're going, whoa, what's this going in the corner of my eye, and what's brushing my shoulder, and what's going on here, it's because the merging of heaven and earth are very real. We're in a very concrete stage of that energy. So you want to really be aware of not shutting down. So if you get overwhelmed, if you get anxiety, don't go, oh my gosh. Don't put a label. I think this is what we're going to be experiencing more and more in the next few weeks, is coming out of that duality where we think this is bad, this is good, this is that, and there's Sky. Hi, Sky. It's one of the huskies. He's like, hey, what's going on there? I felt him before I saw him. He was like, This very concrete birthing in of reality. And part of what's going on, every sign has a 6-month opposition. So we're in the sun sign of Taurus right now, which rules the 2nd house. The opposite of Taurus is Scorpio, which it happens to be my sun sign. And Scorpio is a house of death and rebirth. And it's like I said, in the 6-month opposition to Taurus, which is the 2nd house, which rules money and finances and different things. So when we are in this sign of Taurus, we're also in the sign of Scorpio, because things are made known by their opposites. So this is a wonderful time for transmutation, for alchemical, letting that alchemical fire within your being transmute what is not of the light. And that's what's happening. Burning off the dross. And, you know, and it's like a refining. It's like how the alchemists make gold, and, you know, all the stories, which are, I'm sure not all of them are allegorical. But we are in a transmutation. So if you felt in your bodies things moving, changing, like almost like I felt like a furnace-y, fiery kind of thing. Then I'll get like a real cool energy. And at first I thought, gee, maybe something's wrong with you. Maybe go to the doctor. And Spirit said no. About 3 days, Spirit said no. As we're turning into light, as we are transmuting the karmas and transmuting the toxic energy, you will feel movement in your body. Because again, what is not going to work for anybody on any level, and this level, is stagnation. Anything that's stagnant is going to die. What's going to kill anything and everything is being stagnant, because stagnant energy is not what's happening in the earth plane right now or in the spiritual plane. It's about movement, change, creation. And the opposite of creation is destructive energy. So it's just like when you see, you know, a pond or sitting water, and that's how the mosquitoes come, right? Stagnant. Or you see anything that's not moving, it's not a good situation for you. So you are going to be hyper sensitive to people, situations, things in your life that are stagnant. You might even become impatient. I've had to work with this one. I've been doing like been around a few people, and realized that what they're talking about doesn't even compute in my head, because it doesn't even register. And it's not a put down for them. It's just, I'm not in a space I was with that person before. And it just is not connecting in. And so what I've done with that is, instead of what we've been taught to do is be polite or lower our frequency or try to find a way to make them feel comfortable instead of uncomfortable. It's not about comfortable or uncomfortable. You don't want to accommodate things anymore. I just thought of a fun, yeah, you can't fix stupid, it's one of them, but Terry, a guy that's worked for me, said something the other day. It was so funny. What did he say? Something about playing the seeds of I don't know. He comes up with all these little phrases. But anyway, it's not even that somebody was saying something stupid. It was more, I realized that what I've always done, and again, this is what especially I think females are taught to do, is to make people feel comfortable. So if we're in that situation and somebody's saying something and it's just not really, we'll go out of our way to kind of turn our power over to make it okay. I can't do that anymore. So, and I now never had a filter. Now it's even worse. It's like no filter, and I'm not accommodating. So I've had a few readings that were really interesting. Because I've had some people here that haven't been here like in 20 years, 15 years, 10 years, and even some people maybe haven't been here for maybe 6 or 8 months, and I'm just bup, and they're going, wow, what, yeah, you just say that with such certainty. And I go, yeah, because I'm not making you feel comfortable anymore. Because it's just not here to make you feel comfortable. I'm here to tell you, if you're here to hear something, I'm going to tell you. And you're going to find in your relationships that it will be that way. That you, instead of putting the mask on, or you're going to feel safer and safer to be who you are and to unmask yourself. Because there's no reason to have a mask. And you're going to find that you look different. When I see every one of you, because I've not seen some of you in it hasn't been that long, maybe a couple of weeks, 3 or 4 weeks, you all look different. You all look different, seriously. I mean, it's like, I walked in here, I was kind of shocked. But I feel like almost every day I look different. And it's a transmutation. It's a transmutation of stagnancy. So as the energies are moving, it's what's going to happen. It's like the dreams that my brother's having about my mother. He's seen her in different stages of like she was 6 or 7 years ago when she was a lot clearer and free from the dementia, and he's seen her, kind of stressed, and then he's seen her totally healed, just very clear. And so it's as above, so below. So when we go into different rates of frequency, we go into different dimensional places in the universe, the process continues. We have this fallacy through religion and different things that you're here, then you're dead, and you go here, you go there, and birth is a process, death is a process, everything is a process. So if you can understand your life right now, that your life, in a sense of learning through repetition, is over. That's why everything is full circle right now. That's why no matter what you're doing, you're going to start to get it, that there's no need to go through it again. And that's what I think I'm talking about with people and situations. I'll start to say something. I thought, I've said this for the thousandth, I'm not going to say it again, because there's no need to even talk about this subject, or there's no need to even go into an emotion that would be evoked if I would be pulled into a conversation with this person. And there's a polite way to shift it. And part of it is staying centered. So what's happened with personal friends or family, when I've encountered them in a different way and they've started to go places that I normally would kind of just go into whatever, I just don't say anything. And of course that shocks all of them, because I used to be talking. So it's kind of like, whoa, wait a minute. But almost immediately then, when you take that pause, and instead of staying in a reactive place of engaging, it's not a control thing. It's not a passive aggressive. There's a difference between passive aggressive control, when people purposely do that to control. I'm talking about when you're open, because you want to stay open. You don't want to close down. And you're a free, open, flowing energy that's going on, and you want to stay in that frequency of unconditional love and that true frequency of compassion. And you don't want to be in that frequency of codependence, which is what feeling sorry for yourself, feeling sorry for other people pulls you down into. Then there's attachment. Attachment will always bring sorrow. Attachment will always bring victimization. So when we get pulled into wanting to rescue, it's a part of ourself that's not healed. It's a part of ourself that's still attached. So a place you want to keep opening to is this place of compassion. Of having the open, flowing energy of the heart, and knowing that it's safe to be open. You don't have to cover. And we're all coming out of hiding, basically. And so the more you can, within yourself, make yourself happy. Again, people are not here to entertain you. People are not here, they're not responsible to make you happy, to do your work for you. And that's a hard concept for people to understand too. We've been taught that other people make us happy. We've been taught that if we have this job or this car or this person or this relationship, or if we get married, or if we have this house, or if we do this or that, that's the ticket to happiness. And as we all know, that can be the ticket to hell. Sometimes that's not a good thing. Well, if it's a codependent thing, it's never a good thing. So we get the things, we get the person, we get the whatever, and like Spirit always likes to say, sometimes the soulmate ends up being the cellmate. And we don't want cellmates. We don't want to be joined in a way of you owe me this, or I'm mad at you because you're not doing this, or that's conditional love. But we all do it to ourselves. We're mean to ourselves. We're critical of ourselves. I went through, I wasn't really being mean, but I'd say for about 6 months, and it really intensified for the last 3 months. I think, and this, trust me, I'm 64 years old. I thought I've done extensive therapy, all kinds of stuff with myself. I saw some things that I never had big aha moments about big pictures of things that where I really went off path, or where I didn't get the ramifications of how it affected other people, till I made myself go down into some really yucky stuff. But once I was down in the yucky stuff, I kept moving. You don't want to stay in the yucky. And what happens is people get to feeling things and they want to drug you. They want to give you Prozac. They want to give you Abilify. They want to give you this. They want to give you that. And there's nothing wrong with feeling. But we've been taught to, you better watch out for the feelings, because there might be something wrong with that. We've been taught that the mind and the spiritual bodies are superior to the mental, and the spiritual are superior to the physical and the emotional bodies. And all the bodies are equal. So what do? We glorify the body. We have to look a certain way, or we have to run 5 miles a day. We have to exercise. We have to diet. We want to, this glorification of certain things. And we think the mind is God. We want to, worship this part of the mental body. And somehow the spiritual part, some of our, and the spirit, people's idea of spirituality is not really true spirituality. But then we tend to want to, when the emotional body wants to express itself, it's like, oh no, something's wrong. Because really all depression are denied emotions, denied experiences. And so we all came into this life with a myriad of experiences that we were still working on. So and that's why all babies are different. That's why some are afraid of water, some love water immediately. Some, all the fear, all the strengths, all the weaknesses that we have when we come into this lifetime are an accumulation of what our soul has experienced. So, that being said, what's going on right now, you're going to find, for example, that maybe things that your lower mind were still telling you, well, maybe I'm afraid of this, or I have a phobia about this. You're going to find that you may just find yourself doing something you normally wouldn't do. Because as we're healing the limited thinking, and we're breaking through barriers, and we're transmuting, you may find that, for example, if you were afraid of water, instead of thinking about it, you might just jump in the water. Or you might, there's a lot of barriers that your spirit is going to be able to break through right now, because it's not those things are not going to define or control you anymore. And what's kind of scary at first is a lot of us have had stories for so long, well, I am this, or I think this way, or I'm this way because of this, that pretty soon that's defining and confining us from really bringing all of who we are into this level. So don't be afraid. Work, and the way to not be afraid is to embrace your fear. Embrace whatever you're feeling. Become one with it. Let it move, because we're not supposed to be in a fearful state. We're supposed to be in a joyous, happy, positive state. So all the things that are the limited thinking, the age-old negative dialogues. I'm sure you've all noticed that happening and changing too, where all of a sudden there's these thoughts come in your head and that are negative, and you go, whoa, where'd that come from? You're in this really good space, and all of a sudden there's it's a critiquing or a little voice that's going, it's very critical or negative. Again, it's part of your own being. So it's not, don't disassociate. Don't think, well, what's that? I'm afraid of it. Go into, where is that belief coming from? Where is that subconscious part? What's the point of origin? So it's really important right now to keep delving into, but don't stay there. Don't obsess about it. Don't become obsessive about what's activating you. Feel it, move it, let it go. That's my mantra right now. Feel it, move it, let it go. Just keep moving through the energy, because it's going to become very bright. The energy, you're going to feel clearer and clearer. Another image that I keep experiencing, I wake up every day and I feel like this big window here that I thought was clean, I see more dirty spots. But then all of a sudden, as I work through certain things, I see there's such a clarity. It's like I'm really seeing even farther into what I'm looking through in this window, and the spots aren't there anymore, and they're clearing. And just when you think, okay, this is really clear, then you see other levels of things, and then you clear that, and there's even a broader vision that's coming in. Let all of what wants to be around you and that is around you connect with you consciously. Don't be afraid of it. A lot of people are coming in for readings saying that they're feeling like they're coming out of their skin, or like they're on their last nerve, and we are. You are in your last nerve, and you are coming out of your skin, because it's like a lot of people are trying to contain and control what's happening. And we are these huge beings of light. And this huge energy field that you are is connecting and being made more and more and more part of a conscious, integrated part of you. But it feels scary to some people. It feels like, oh, what is this? This feels oppressive. So if you're feeling uncomfortable, or you're feeling oppressed, or you're feeling things around you that are making you uncomfortable of your own energy, it's that way. And you are in your last nerve. Our nervous systems are being healed. So you may start to even feel nerve pain. A lot of people are coming in and saying, my hands hurt and my feet hurt, and I'm feeling weird things in my nerve endings, and I'm waking up, and again, I think it has to do with miasms, and I think it has to do with parasites and things that have been living in our bodies for a long time that get into the ends of the nerves, and they will give you pain. They're dying. Because you don't want to be a host for parasites. Okay? Have you ever seen what parasites and things look like? They look like aliens. If you look at them under a microscope, they look very much like aliens, right? And I have had the experience lately, seriously, of feeling like, okay, whatever is moving around in here, and if it's not of the light, and I'm talking about these miasms and these any type of parasitical crappy stuff, get out, get the hell out. But I really feel like that's because it's such a common thing that people are talking about, and I know from going to holistic doctors and doing that kind of work for years that's a lot of when you're feeling that's what it is. It's the parasites, it's the things in your body. So as we're turning into light, as we're transmuting, we are no longer codependent, and we want to get rid of dysfunction. What's going to happen? We're not going to be hosts anymore for parasites in our bodies. When we get rid of the parasites in the outer world, right, the people and the draining and the psychic vampires, it's going to happen within you as well. It's all a mirror. It's not separate. So you're going to feel, again, a lot of movement. People are feeling kind of waves of nausea and waves of dizzy, and just kind of like, whoa, what, I'll stand up sometimes, I'm kind of like, wow, just, the energy's moving. Again, we're getting used to being and operating in a conscious way with our bigger bodies, with our bigger vehicles. And again, a lot of the nausea and a lot of the physical discomfort are the parasites. It's a cleansing. So when these things are dying in your body, you got to drink a lot of water. Do all kinds of things to cleanse. Again, most importantly, it's so important right now. Stay away from things that have gluten. Stay away from things that have high corn fructose. Stay away from genetically modified food. You don't want freaky stuff in your body. Why would you want genetically engineered crap in your body? You don't. And so the more sensitive you are, and the more you're coming into your true divine blueprint, your body will be very rejecting of genetic engineering. It's really what it is. You won't want that kind of food anymore. It won't taste good. You might crave it for a minute, you might want to eat a bunch of it and then get really sick. But your body's going to reject it. Your body's going to tell you, I don't want this. I've even gone through some things lately where I don't even know what I want to eat. It's like nothing really sounds good. It's like, it's not that I'm not hungry, but it's like, I'll look at something and think, no, I don't know if I want that. Or I'll eat, you're going to become more sensitized to what you are taking into your body. It won't be this kind of blind thing of like, I'm going to sit down and eat a quart of ice cream, or I'm going to sit down and you're going to find that if food was your friend in the way of filling a hole, especially if it's not good food, if it's bad junk food, it won't be doing that for you. You just won't, because we're turning into light. Our bodies are transmuting, literally. So you might feel, a lot of people are saying they feel like a metallic taste in their mouth, or they're feeling different, like their breath smells different, or the body smells different. You're going through transmutation. You're literally going through transmutation. And as you're turning into light, the last stop's the body, right? And so we don't want dis-ease, and we don't want the last stop being the body, cancer, heart problems, blah, blah, blah. The last stop's the body, and you start to feel it, and you go, nope, I don't want it to solidify in my body. Let's transmute this. I feel it, I'm feeling it acting up. Let's do something different with this. So the more sensitive you're feeling, yes, it can be very difficult at first because we've been taught to be desensitized. We've been taught to not feel. We've been taught to deny what we feel, to ignore it, especially the body. We've been so taught in the Western paradigm to ignore the body. No pain, no gain. I mean, I'm sure you all saw it. One of the most disturbing things I saw this week, and it really wasn't what these coaches had the kids do, it was the fact that these kids didn't stand up and go, I'm not going to do that. Really? Some kids missed a practice in this little town here in Indiana the day before the prom, and so they made everybody, I don't think it was just the kids that missed the thing, and it was a hot day, walk on their hands and feet on hot asphalt for a half a mile or something ridiculous. The fact that the children did this. That's the thing I found the most disturbing. I was like, and maybe to a fault, but I taught Merlin never to do, if something just because an adult's telling you to do something, if it's not right, don't do it. That was so disturbing to me. And, they had third-degree burns. They were showing these kids, their hands were burned off. It was ridiculous. And the most interesting thing about that story, there were 4 coaches. First, they fired them. Now they've hired them back and said they can be teachers, that they didn't really have ill intent. Well, you know what? I think they were stupid. So why should they be teachers? Okay, if you didn't have the motive of hurting people and you didn't know that was going to happen, did to those people? What? That's where you go. I understand. I don't think maybe they did get it, but that's scary in and of itself. It's kind of like, okay, and there's a lot of strange things like that where you just go, but about that whole story, to me, I had much more of a concern that all the kids did that. They didn't go, hey, I don't think this is good. I'm not going to do this at any cost. I'm not going to do it. And I think that's what I'm trying to say to everybody. Think for yourself. Don't let other people tell you what to be, what to think, what to do. Do the right thing. We saw this amazing story with these 3 women that had been held for 10 years. The most frightening thing of that story, do you see how close those houses were together? And they're now saying that those women in 10 years they were out of the house one time. They were put in a disguise to go to the garage. And I don't know the nuances yet, but they're saying also that they first were saying these 3 brothers, they've not been charged. And so you're going, wow, this is really creepy. What was really going on in that house, because they first were going, oh, the 3 brothers were all involved. Now and then they had a 2008 film of this big fat ass, the main guy, on a motorcycle with no helmet, no water, and they have a video of him. And they wrote up tickets, but they never followed through. And it's the same kind of thing. Hopefully we don't want to see vigilante, but I think what's going to happen from a lot of what we're seeing is that people are going to pay more attention, and they're going to get more involved, and they're going to go, there's something really weird going on over here. And again, what did the one neighbor say? Well, I barbecued with him. He just seemed really normal. Duh. That's how sociopaths and psychopaths are. They're high functioning, and anybody could mastermind and maintain that kind of horrific, sadistic crap. It's I mean, and there's a lot of people out there. So what has to happen, it's not that the majority of the people are like that, but the majority of you are smart, and the more aware you are, you'll pick up on something. Don't ignore things. I've always been one. If somebody's, I'll stop my car. If somebody's dragging a dog or hitting their dog, to the embarrassment of people in my family sometimes, I don't really care. I will pull my car over. And I don't want to feel like a know-it-all or shame them. I'll just try to be really nice. But if they don't get it, then it's not good. And I will find out where they live, and I'll get that dog. Or, you know what I'm saying? You have to, we are our brother's keeper. We are our sister's keeper. We are stewards with the animals in the earth. If you don't do it, who's going to do it? And we've been so taught somebody else will do it for you. The teachers know everything. The church knows everything. The doctors know everything. Everybody else knows everything. And so pretty soon you're programmed to think you're just an idiot. Or you're programmed into this, like, again, what is it? Stagnancy, inactivity. And I'm sure you've all looked back on your lives and were in situations where you thought, gee, why didn't I speak up? Why didn't I get involved with something that was going wrong? Because you were programmed not to, basically. That's why. And again, the more alive that you allow yourself to be, because it really is about your free will, the more you're letting this alive, conscious energy, and the more you're clearing out parasitic darkness and creepy stuff from your own being and healing your shadow self, you will clearly be put in the path, and not in a dangerous way, of things where you can make a difference. Where you will. So that's when we're seeing these stories unfold. I really feel that's what's going to be happening. That we're all one big body. So if this kind of thing is being exposed and coming up to the light, we're going to see more and more situations where people take action, where they're not passive. We can't be passive anymore. We can't. And it's such an important time on this planet to know the empathic abilities that we all have, that we are one big organism, one big body. And what other people are going through, it's not, people want to say, oh, it's not my business. It's not my business. I don't want to. It is your business. It is your business. It'd be your business if your child was taken on the street, right? It'd be your business then. And I think the biggest thing that's going to be exposed are the child protective services. Really, the ones that go to the door and don't go in. The ones the other situation where they saw clearly aerial views of the encampments in the backyard. I mean, come on. What I've been told, and I hate to even say this, but I'll say it, because we all wonder, why is there such a widespread pornography? Why is child pornography so prevalent? Why is child abductions not taken care of? I've been told by pretty reliable sources, because I read for a lot of people in very high up positions that do this. Well, I say unfortunately because I couldn't do some of the work they do. These are people who work in CIA, FBI, in these fields. The problem is, in very high offices, people are into that. Yeah, not the majority. Same reason there's drugs everywhere. Same reason. How do you think? I mean, it comes from the top. It comes from high places. It doesn't. It's not. We keep saying we can blame things, but it comes from. There's reasons why. So I think again, we're going to find exposure. We're going to find lots of things that we just assumed that were a certain way. We're going to start to understand why they are. And it may be horrific to understand and have a realization that there are very organized rings of people, and people involved in some of this are judges, are lawmakers are people who are in very high status. It's always been like this. You look back in history, and there were tons of people that were in places of power that were sadists, that were that were molested children, that did terrible things. So it's not new. We want to think that we've fallen into this depravity. No, look at ancient history. It's not new. It's just all coming to the light. It's all being exposed. So be proactive in your life. Be in your life, and whatever you need to figure out, it will be there, and you will be able to help in certain ways. Does anybody have a question or anything you want to ask or talk about before we do meditation?
Basically summed up the last 6 weeks of my life, culminating in the last week with massive stomach flu and tingling and
I'm telling you, and a lot of what she was saying, that the last 6 weeks, that what I just said, some of the last 6 weeks of her life, culminating with the massive flu. Yeah, and again, I really feel like a lot of the flus aren't really flus. I mean, I've been on fire, and I know it's not like a temperature thing, or it's my body is just burning up stuff. Yep. So you want to get this stuff out. And again, what does Western medicine do? The minute anything gets, your body heat is actually killing things. So the minute your child gets a temperature, you go, oh my God, they're going to die. I got to do things to get the temperature. You seen the thing with the pacifier? We've all known that. Mom spit. You clean your kid's face. You put your what? People that live this way don't have. It's like the hair of the dog that bit you. That's what homeopathy is all about. Homeopathic stuff's all about, right? Well, this whole pacifier thing, where kids that live in these very sterile environments, and the pacifiers, they wash them off, or they're always, the germ cleansers of the kids' hands. They've got allergies. Of course they do. Of course they do. Come on. We don't. All of medicine used to be, homeopathic, and then systematically. That was part of what the Inquisition and the witch hunts and the things were about. The first people they killed were like the wealthy women landowners. And we used to live in a huge society of matriarchy that you'll never know because it's been stamped out. But they were the women that owned land. They were the women that were the herbologists. They were mainly the midwives. They went after the midwives because then, speaking of motherhood and mother, then the power over female cycles and reproduction became very male dominated. I want to play golf. Oh, let's schedule a cesarean. Really? Are you kidding me? I get more and more and more people in who are, I decided to get an ablation or something. So I don't have periods anymore. Are you kidding me? What the heck? I mean, what? Or crazy stuff. Somehow we see that the natural cycles of the female body are wrong, and they're something to be avoided, and there's something to be they're horrific or something, so it all went, when we, back in the days of homeopathic things, and we knew that the hair of the dog that bit you was a good thing. You take a little bit of what's not right, and that's how you get well. And we went into this whole other form of medicine, which breeds a lot of money. Lots of money, big money making things. So, yeah. I'm sure that's what's going on, because your whole energy field looks totally different than the last time I saw you. You transmuted a bunch of stuff.
Yeah.
Bunches of stuff. Did you have a?
Yeah, I've had some interesting things happen this week, and I agree. Everything you said has been completely in alignment. And of course, with me, I had diagnosed parasites that I was stuck feeling off. So
aren't those weird when you feel them? Oh, yeah.
So the things that have happened on Sunday, a hawk chased a bird into my house.
Wow.
And,
a hawk chased a bird into your house. What kind of bird?
I don't know.
Was it a red-tailed hawk, or what kind of hawk? What did you see?
I can't show you a picture of it, but I don't know.
What color was the bird? Was it like just a regular bird? A brownish bird.
And a brownish bird.
Wow.
So
the hawk chased the bird
into my house. The bird hit my house, fell to the ground. The hawk got on top of it.
Oh, into your house, not like you had a door open and it came in. It was trying to come into. It was trying to come into your house. Which side of your house?
It would be the east side.
Because our home is our consciousness. So in facing your front door, where? What's
Uh,
east?
East is the back of the house.
Okay, so came the back. Okay.
Yeah.
So and then it's on top of it. So what did you
Yeah,
do?
and
Oh my God.
Well, I went over and I wasn't sure at first what was happening because there wasn't
Right.
a huge size difference between the birds, and I thought naively at first that the bird was sad that the other bird fell into the house.
Yeah.
Until
Don't you love the
I
projections we do as humans? Yeah.
that his claws were pushing down.
Trying to suffocate him.
Yeah,
Did
so
you
he
can-
squished him flat.
Oh, yeah.
And then picked him up and flew off.
Oh, very efficient killing machines, those hawks. Ooh.
So there was that, and then the very
Did
next
you?
day,
Ooh, yeah.
uh,
You saw that for a reason. Birds are messengers, and anytime you see something like that, that was a direct message. Not that that's going to happen to you or something, but I mean, I'm just saying, it's like it and again, it's interesting too about how subjective reality is always fascinating, right? You're thinking, oh, he's dead because yeah. I didn't know they did. That's interesting. So it's flat. Yeah, made it easier for him to.
yeah, he was breaking the bone.
Yeah, take on. Ugh. Yeah, that's even another one. Yeah, there you go. Whoa.
Well, I didn't realize it. At
Well,
first
you wouldn't.
because
Why,
I've
you know.
never seen it before.
No, that's very unusual. That is very unusual. But when did this happen?
Sunday, and then on Monday,
that was a
I
wild
was
day.
talking with someone, and it was like a pine cone hurled at me, and my left shoulder hit. It was coming out of a tree. And the person talking to me saw it and said, "Oh my goodness, are you okay?"
Where was this?
At Alexa's school.
Wow.
So I feel like
You know, I've had weird things. I told you I had a hot light bulb fell out of a light fixture and hit me. Oh, yeah. No, I've had stuff like this too. I've had some unusual. That's interesting. Yeah.
what is the message? I'm listening. Don't throw anything else at me.
Well, and it's interesting because we always associate hawks with like the higher self, right? I mean, in Native American, they're like if you see a hawk, it's like, you think of it as like the higher consciousness. And I think what you were seeing was, I mean, it's definitely, you need to kind of do a meditation of what was going on in your life that would have led up to you, these two birds choosing to show you this experience, because that's how I would look at it. It was what was going on that day, or what was going on. Did anybody else in your family see it?
We all did.
You all, your daughter and your husband and everybody. Wow. And what were their projections? What did they think at first? Or how did?
Well, Alan was the one who took a picture of it, and Alexa wanted to understand it.
Okay. Did anybody want to intervene? It probably happened so fast you didn't know what was going on.
I think Alan said something because then, right before he took off, it looked like the hawk was going to eat the bird there.
In the air.
Started ripping off feathers.
OMG. Whoa.
Yeah.
Flattening, breaking bones. Ugh. Well, you saw a very efficient predator.
And Honey with
And I didn't-
the dog was lining at the door. She was there too. So
Oh, yeah,
there
she's
was
like a
the
hunting
whole
dog,
thing.
too. She's a
Yeah.
little beagle.
Yeah.
So she was like, she's a bird dog. So she's like, and that's so weird because you see these pictures of owls and hawks like picking up little yappy dog, little, not that they should, I shouldn't say that. You know what I'm saying? These little
Definitely be
dogs. And
like,
yeah.
they're capable of
Oh my God, cats and all kinds of stuff. And like, but I would never, and I I was not aware that they ate other birds. So I guess, yeah, I always just look at them as,
I see them flying and mice and stuff.
That's
yeah,
wild.
I mean, it's one of those experiences, like, as you're watching it, you're trying to understand. what's
sure.
going on.
And that's why it was
And the
brought
next
to
thing
you.
know,
It's
and then-
unfolding.
And then when the ripping was.
That part you're going, no, this is,
Nothing.
this is too much of a lesson of reality for me. Oh my God. Oh, I know. And see, and I've had to learn this one. My whole thing, I always want to intervene. I always want to get in the middle of it. I always, watched a show last night with this guy had been tracking polar bears and the babies. And I kept going, no, bring them food. Why are you letting them starve? Wait. I couldn't do this wildlife thing. There's no way. There is I couldn't do it. Yeah, that is interesting. What fascinates me the most too is at the back of your house. It was like in the center.
Mm-hmm. Right past our dining room table.
Okay. Ooh, where you eat food. And that would be the fame area in the feng shui.
Yeah.
Uh-huh. That's interesting. And no, and again, that's where we have we have judgment. I mean, I don't eat red meat, but a lot of people eat meat. I mean, people like to see the end result package. We don't want to see how things are murdered and turned into meat, right? So to me, that's somewhat of a lesson about that. It's kind of like the hawk's motive and intention, right, was not to be mean or hurt the bird. It was hungry.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that's like one of those chains of, wow, that really, has your daughter brought it back up?
Oh, of course.
Because she's what, 3, 4?
She'll be fine.
She'll be fine,
In a
yeah.
couple months when she lets
And so what is she saying when she brings it back up?
that she doesn't like the hawk bird.
It doesn't like those hawk birds now, yeah.
Wanted to know if they could pick her up.
Well, I would, yeah, but it's interesting because it's not that should instill fear, but that's not a bad thing for a young child, especially it was a dose of reality and it gives you a chance to work with that energy. That is interesting because it was a predator. What were we just talking about? Predators. But you're like me, your child's never going to walk to the bus. Your child, I mean, I don't know. I mean, I'm not judging people that can't do that, but Merlin was hand-delivered to school and he was never out of my sight. I was overly protective. But yeah, so she's really full of self-awareness because for a 4-year-old, almost right to say, that's very interesting. Well, and to be able to verbalize it.
And she's a borderline vegetarian anyway.
Uh-huh.
She talks about why there's blood in meat.
Ooh.
But she's
Wow.
not quite
She's
put
a
all
trip.
the pieces together. Yeah, but I felt like we were verging on that conversation of because we were talking about meat eaters versus vegetarians.
Right. And then here comes the bird. Here comes the hawk and right into your house. Oh my God. That's like, yeah, I get birds. I try to put things in my windows, but I get birds that will hit my windows. And what's interesting, 9 times out of 10, they're just stunned. And you'll think they're dead. Mm-hmm. And all of a sudden they just fly off. And it's like, that's the best. It's like, it's awful when that isn't the case though. But yeah. Birds are always messengers. So what an incredible... Well, and I think it's okay to take a picture of things like that. I mean, I think that again, that the lower mind always wants to go, I don't want to see this. I don't want to express. I think that's kind of cool that you, for whatever reason, you as a group saw that. And my gut is that you will have more experiences, not like that, not like where it's like kind of, ooh, but I think you'll get more and more nature things. So then that was Sunday. When was the pine cone that hit you? Okay, then you're at school. Well, see, but I got to pay attention to that. Something's telling you about your back. Okay, now this is what I'm going to tell you. And this is not to make you fearful, but this is the way I would read anything like this that was that strong. Do you have an alarm system? Is your back door where it happened? Can somebody break in there? I mean, you have to be logical. I always am. If I have really freaky stuff, because I have had, trust me. And anytime I've gotten a very overt thing, instead of being fearful and going, ooh, I go, okay, what's the practical? Why did it happen here? To me, that's what I would,
Right by her back door.
Yeah.
It wasn't into the back door because the windows face out, not the door. The door's on the
Yeah,
side.
that's what I would go, okay, let's put an extra light, or let's put a security camera, or because to me, I think that's what's happening for all of us. We're getting bigger pictures, and we're getting them ahead of time, so we don't have to go through crap, right? That's the way I would read that. But then that's interesting to me. That what were you doing at the school with this pine cone assailed you?
Talking to Alexa's teacher.
And you were obviously outside.
Yeah.
I'd be really worried if it happened inside. There's some heavy-duty spirit activity involved in there too. There's some really violent people in there.
The only thing to say about both days is they both heavily involved Alexa. On
Yeah,
Sunday,
absolutely.
I
Yeah.
purged her bedroom, which had been driving me crazy. It was like a hodgepodge of baby stuff,
Whoa!
and so
Think
I
about that.
chucked it all out.
You hodgepodge of baby stuff that day, and then she has a very more little girl, not baby experience with seeing reality. Wow, that's real. That's some real stuff. Where does her bedroom sit with her?
She's in travel and helpful people.
Oh, so she's in the left, down or up?
Right, when you come in the door.
Oh, right,
she's
she'd be to the right. Yeah, helpful people. Okay, okay, that's interesting. No, and I have been purging I will always find that when I go through times of throwing away things or getting rid of stuff, you'll have big things like that to happen. So that's totally significant that the way you were purging her room was to get rid of the little baby things and go into the other stage of her life, and then she sees that. So then at school, where were you in the school? Were you out in the playground? Were
Picking
you?
her up and cuddling.
So you'd gotten out of the car just to
Yeah,
talk to
I
the
was
teacher
there,
and
Yeah, I was at school again, next school teacher.
okay.
I like to know.
How far? Well, yeah. How far away was the pinecone tree?
It was up and over me, but those pine cones don't fall.
They don't hurl themselves at you. No,
No,
that's
and and the tree wasn't that far above
Right.
me, and it was a smack, like, the teacher standing across from me heard it.
and it hits you
On my
like in the
shoulder.
front or back, came to you
Like right here,
right on top of your
yeah, on the top of my
left shoulder. Well,
Or toward the back.
yeah. Well, again, it's that smacking into, right? Running into.
Wizard of Oz with apple trees.
Yeah, exactly. Right? The Wizard of Oz thing.
I
Yeah.
seriously thought somebody threw something at me.
Oh, I've had things like that. Seriously,
Because
I've
it
had
was
branches fall very near to me. Yeah.
It wasn't like, oh.
Yeah. It's like you could.
It was like a baseball throw.
Yeah, and see what I would say about that. That's very interesting to me too, because again, something's getting your attention, right? And again, in the left side is female, emotional. It's the past. It's the shoulders, the back. It's about weight of the world on your shoulders. But to me, again, like I said, it's around your daughter, and to me, something is getting your attention about your daughter and picking her up. And I'm not saying that anything bad's going to happen, because it's not. But I'm saying to be mindful, because that is very strange. To have both of those things 2 days in a row are a wake up. But what you just wake up and you go, okay, I get it. I'm just going to have more of my consciousness open. The first thing that came to my mind, and I'll project it to you mentally.
I'm not sure I'm strong enough for that yet.
Yeah, past
Oh,
person
yes. No, yeah.
obsessed with.
Again?
I'm just saying, don't.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying be paranoid, but when something like that happens, because she was out of control, you know that.
Mhm. Yes.
And I know you probably got mad sometimes I was saying, but I knew it. I was like, okay. No, that's one of the first things that came to me. So, that being said, do they have like well, those schools are very careful, but I mean, do they not? I would even what I would do, be proactive.
I'm the only one who ever picks her up.
Right. But I would even maybe go an extra mile and say something. Because I've had a lot of this kind of stuff recently where I will get a huge big picture of something very strong will be happening, and I will get immediately what it means. And then I go, okay, no, this is not going to happen. I'm going to, whatever this energy is, this is it, dealing with it now, and it doesn't need to be acted out. It's done. That's the way I would deal with that. Yeah, that's very, very interesting. Did you keep the pine cone?
I thought about it.
Yeah, that would have been.
Look weird.
Yeah, that would have been kind of interesting to keep. So
Now
do
that I
you?
think that I had a moment yesterday where I was scared she was gone. You said that.
Yeah, and I don't want to make you afraid, but I want to make you aware. Right. Well, so then, why would you have? Because she even said something to you, right? I mean, your daughter. Yeah. This is what I'm saying, folks. Don't be afraid. Just watch, because God, Spirit, however you want to look at Creator, is going to be helping you not have bad things happen. It's going to be showing you this is something that's preventable. This is something that we can do something about. Yeah. And that's powerful. I mean, that's like really powerful stuff. That's, and again, pay attention because it activated some part of you yesterday to think that. And this is what happens. We've been so taught. We get signs, we see things. So we hear people all the time going, "Oh my God, I knew, and I felt something," but they didn't do anything. And especially women, we're not taught to protect ourselves. We're kind of taught to live in like a fantasy world that something's going to save us, or magical thinking is what they call it in psychology. Magical thinking that, and then you just can't. There's times, that's a. Thanks for sharing it because it's very personal, but it's very poignant as an example, exactly what I was trying to explain of all kinds of stuff I've seen going on my own self. It's very, signs are all there for us to be able to not actually have to act out all kinds of anything that's negative. What a gift that those two, and that's what I finally had to do with a lot of nature things that, is that those two birds, even the one that was the prey, or ended up being the prey, chose to give you, your family, that was really a gift of love. I mean, it was a really amazing gift. Yeah. Seriously, that's like, what a valuable gift. Yeah. Yeah. And there's a lot of hurdling things. I talked about this in the last, I think, 2 or 3 oracles. I've had stuff, things can, like, because I've got cats and things, things can fall. I've had stuff that is just flying off the end of counters, just like I'm seeing it. And it's like, and then like this light bulb that was up, it was a wrong light bulb in a recessed lighting. And I'm standing there, and these lights kept going on and off, and people were saying, "Oh, it's something, they're just burning out." And I'm going, "No, this is not a proper light bulb that should even be in this canister. Who put this light?" And I kind of thought that, for about, I don't know, a couple weeks. So randomly, which probably wasn't random, I was standing over by the kitchen counter, and all of a sudden I was doing a phone reading, and it was like 11:30. I was very late at night, so I'm in California. This thing comes flying down and grazes me and hits the ground. And without thinking what it was, I touched it and burned my hand. Because it was, and I looked at it, and it was these kind of lights in a can light. Sorry, Glenda. Telling on you, no. And she just thought, "Hey, I got these bulbs, I'm going to put them in here." And we could, and so the 2-3 lights, there's a bunch of can lights that kept like going off. They were doing it on purpose because they were overheating. And the ones that had the right light, yeah. So I'm going, "Thank you. Okay, I get it. My house could have gone fire." Yeah. But it was the same thing. I mean, it jarred. It was like, it grazed me. And I screamed, this person to the phone, they go, "Are you okay?" And I go, "Well, something fell from the sky," like Chicken Little. I was like, because I was in my house, I'm going, okay, what was that? To the point where I didn't even identify it as being like a hot light bulb, because it was a tiny little one of these flame-shaped ones, and I just went up and then burned, and I had to go get ice, and yeah, so I've had some interesting, and then the way I looked into that deeper was that it was like telling me, okay, just look around, might be some fire hazards, or yeah, so that's very interesting. Yeah, and again, we are not separate from our home is our consciousness. Everything, if we're one huge body of spirit, we're not separate from anything. None of us are separate from anything. So the more you know and embrace that, the things that are happening to you, just learn from them. Don't get stuck in them, right? And that's what I think shifting. So let's do a meditation. Again, we're grateful to Spirit for bringing us together on this beautiful night. We're grateful for these beautiful times that we live in. And even though they may appear difficult and hard, we know that we're in this incredible time of transition and healing. So in accordance with everybody's free will and highest good, we ask the bodies to align into present time, now, the only place there really is. Be here now. Be in your life and be here now. And I want you to feel the safety of now, the safety of present time, and to know that all the things that you've learned in cyclical ways are no longer going to be repeated. We're out of learning through repetition. It is an antiquated system. All of who you are is here in one big energy, and it's gone full circle. Let's transmute those things that are not of the light in the present state that we're in. And again, in accordance with each person's free will and highest good. We ask the original divine blueprint that's encoded in everybody's DNA. We ask that original divine blueprint, our divine mother, divine father. We ask that blueprint to come into activation, to override the sins of the fathers, to override genetic weaknesses of the body, mind, and spirit, to override learning through repetition, learning through familiarity, codependence, dysfunction, toxicity. We ask the power of the blood, the power of the red energy to move through your being and move all obstacles, all blocks, all stagnant energy. It's like you're getting, I want you just to envision that your whole body is filling with light, but in this light there's a beautiful ruby red and gold energy, and it's the fiery energy of spirit. It's another level of blood giving energy of life force, but it's in this beautiful ruby and gold infused energy, and you're just bathed in it. It's going into every cell of your being. It's transmuting. It's killing the viruses. It's killing the miasms. It's cleansing the parasites outside of your life and inside of your life and inside of your being. Again, in any way that we are attracting parasitic, negative, toxic energy within ourselves, outside ourselves, we ask all the cords, the negative cords that are connecting us to this type of draining, negative places that we have become captured. We ask all the cords on the body, mind, and spirit, where there's toxicity, where there's negative energy, blocks, draining energy. We ask these cords to come forward now, to be severed. We ask the Archangel Michael to sever. It's safe to let go of the past. It's safe to be in the present. It's safe to be who you are. It's safe to function without codependence, without toxicity, without parasitic energy. It's safe to receive unconditional love from self, others, and spirit. It's safe to give unconditional love to self, others, and spirit. It's safe to have reciprocal relationships with yourself, with others, with spirit. We want a flowing of sending and receiving, giving and sending out. We want a flowing of energy. And again, we ask the mind to come forward. Anything that's in our mind that has limited beliefs, limited thinking, stagnant thinking, things we may not even be aware of that we have as a belief system or a negative mantra that's running through our minds about lack or all things are this way, or this is always going to be negative, or this is going to be certain ways. All types of limited thinking of the mental body. We ask the mental body, in accordance with each person's free will and highest good, to come forward into the light. We ask for a purging and cleansing of the reptilian brain stem that wants to keep us in, this is bad, this is good, I'm in the left brain, I'm in the right brain, I want to stay in this duality that will keep me trapped into limited thinking. Again, anything that's binding you into limited beliefs, limited brain activity, because I'm feeling some people are even, they're feeling the higher consciousness coming in, but there's almost like a digging in and blocking it. It's safe to merge with the higher mind. There is a higher mind that connects you with God, that connects you with Spirit. There's a higher mind. Except the I becomes single, you can't enter the kingdom of heaven. Except you become as a child, you can't enter the kingdom. This is all about going into the oneness, into the third eye, into the higher mind. Again, in accordance with each person's free will and highest good, we ask the higher mind, the higher intellect, the higher true knowing intellect, not the dogma or things you've been programmed to remember or believe or think. We ask that to be cleansed away, and we ask your true connection with your higher mind, with a higher self, with the pilot self that's a direct link to God, the creator energy here, spirit energy, to come in. We ask these higher energies to just flow down through the body, mind, and spirit. Again, we ask the Archangel Michael to sever all negative thinking, all limited thinking, all cords anywhere out there, from other places and times. We ask that there be a cleansing and a healing. You may feel the top of your head tingling. You may feel a lot of activity. The crown chakra is just wide, wide, wide open. It's open. It's safe to have the crown open for total connection with the light, with the electrical energy of the Divine Father. Just keep Father Sky, just feel that crown opening and connecting as above, so below. And you may feel tingling in your feet. I want you to know, again, you're a walking tree. There's an incredible root system, the chakra system, on the bottoms of your feet. They're connecting you deep into the earth. As you feel this connection deep, deep, deep into the earth, this magnetic pull of the earth, and you feel this electrical energy from above, they're connecting in your body, and they're creating new life. It's safe to see with the inner eye, safe to hear with the inner ear. It's safe to feel empathically. We ask all gifts of spirit that are right for each individual, all abilities that each individual has. We ask these abilities to be opened in a way that is balanced, in a way that brings happiness and peace and guidance for self and for others. We ask these abilities to be awakened and remembered in a safe way, a balanced way. I want you to feel all the presence of the ancestors, all the beings of light, and know that the illusion is that we are separate from them and they are separate from us. I want you to feel the oneness of heaven and earth. Feel the connection. You may have been feeling this week a lot of heaviness or energies, a restriction in the chest area or heart area. A lot of people have been feeling very tight in the chest or feeling their heart changing rhythms. I want you to feel your heart, the whole chest area opening up. Let the stress go. Let it go. It's safe to receive unconditional love. It's safe to have the heart open at all times. It's safe to actualize unconditional love. It's not a concept. It's not a concept. It's safe to actualize and live in unconditional love for self, others, and spirit. I want you to feel all the wounds and the pain and the ways you've had to think you had to protect yourself or guard yourself or keep yourself protected. It's not a protection. Let the walls down. Let the barriers go. Let the heart totally be open. Sacred heart filling with light. Let your heart be filled with compassion for yourself and others. Let your heart be free of neediness. Let your heart know the love of the beloved from within. Let your heart feel the union with your own inner soulmate. Ask all negative images we have of relationship or stereotypical projections we have about men, women, relationships, love, romance, marriage. We ask for a cleansing and a healing of limited negative thinking, old wounds, old patterns, old archetypes. We ask all pictures of death to be turned into pictures of life, all pictures of fear to be transmuted into pictures of unconditional love and truth. We ask all wounds to be healed, all times you've been abandoned, betrayed, rejected, cheated on, lied to, manipulated. Disappointed. Let all that come into the light to be healed. Let all the shame, fear, guilt, let it go. Let it out. There's no need to live in shame, fear, or guilt. Let it go from the body, mind, and spirit. You are worthy, you are loved, you are so loved by the Divine Mother, Divine Father. You are so created and manifested for their love for each other. Elohim, in our image, we created them, male and female. I want you to feel the oneness with Creator. And feel the love. And we ask for forgiveness of birth families. We ask for things that we didn't get, or we thought we should have gotten, or bad treatment, or whatever happened with birth, mother, fathers. We ask for a healing. We free them, we free ourselves. We no longer hold them responsible or blame them or blame ourselves. We let them go. We see them as people. It's safe to become your own mother, father within inside of yourself. It's safe to connect with the Divine Mother and Father as a paradigm instead of birth parents. It's safe to feel the wholeness and true love of unconditional love. It's safe to parent yourself. It's safe to fulfill that need within your own being. It's safe to feel the incredible love, the unconditional love, the light that is pouring down into the earth and into your being, healing, restoring. We ask for restoration of the body, mind, and spirit. You are worthy. You are loved. You are needed. You are wanted. And what your divine parents want is for you to be you. You're not supposed to be somebody else. You are a unique creation. There's no one like you. There's you, and you are here on this earth at this time for a very specific reason. It's safe to fulfill your true spiritual destiny. It's safe to live a happy, fulfilled, wonderful life, free from pain and restriction and suffering. We ask the inner child to come forward, the wounded inner child that didn't get the love or acceptance, or maybe you had experience as a child of a molestation or abuse or judgment or hurts that you're still harboring toward your mother or father. Let it go. Let it go. They did the best they could do. Let it go. Feel the love. The amazing love of the great Comforter. Holy Spirit, the feminine aspect of the Trinity. Feel the incredible love of the Divine Mother aspect, comforting, healing all wounds, embracing, nurturing, giving you life, restoring you, lifting you up, encouraging you. I want you to feel the power of actualizing your life, the power of becoming your own mother, father, brother, sister, lover, savior, whatever archetype that you think you need from the outer world. You have this within you. We are made in the image of Creator. Again, in accordance with each person's free will and highest good, we ask for the activation of that divine blueprint, for an activation of the image that we were made in, the aspect of our abilities, our reason for being on this earth at this time, to come into full activation and find ways to create and to fulfill these destinies. We ask the things to be removed that are robbing you of your joy, of your happiness, of your peace. Let them go. I want you to feel how safe it is to be in your body temple. I want you to feel the energy moving down into your central sun, down into the solar plexus, down into the navel area. We ask all pain, all blocks, all discomfort of this area to be healed. Feel the power of your central sun. Feel your navel is the center of your being, center of your body. I want you to feel this whole area just infused. It's like a giant sun, transmuting, refining. It's a furnace. It's burning up the things that are not of the light. We ask that all of the energy that's here consciously connect with our loved ones, with our ancestors, with all sentient beings. We send this energy out and we receive the positive energy back. We ask for the immediate end of blocks and restriction and limited ways of being. We ask for the flowing in of energy. Safe to remember who you are. It's safe to bring all of who you are into this level. And when you're ready, return to the consciousness of this room, this process of healing, remembering, transmuting will continue into the night, into the dreams, into the days to come, into the present. Eternal present now. Going to return feeling refreshed, renewed, balanced, whole, filled with light. Free from things that were binding you. Ooh. Lots of stuff going on. Wow. Yeah, that was an interesting meditation. The way Spirit guided me, when I do the guided meditations, they're always just that moment of what to say or do. And it was very apparent to connect in the way we did and move around and go in a different direction than going through the chakras and the things we usually do. There's a whole different, because everybody's into this bigger energy field already. So it started with immersing ourselves. Again, the most activation that I felt with the group energy that's present here and remotely what I'm picking up was limited thinking. Were lower beliefs, were those kind of frequencies. That's really being worked with right now, is these old paradigms of how we believe, we know, we feel, and then it's like static. It's like almost like there's a staticky feeling, okay? But that's still here. That's just moving, and you're going to feel your head itching. My head's been itching like crazy. It's like this whole activation of the crown chakra. You feel that energy just moving and moving and flowing. Wow. Okay. How was that for everybody? You have a puzzled look on your face.
The normal colors and things, but as much as I tried to focus on the meditation, I
You just went out. You didn't have to. It's good.
But I was seeing some things that didn't make sense.
What'd you see?
Let's see. There was a cat it was either black or dark brown, and it had it either had one eye or one eye was kind of bad, and it just kind of was pawing. And I've never seen this cat before. I don't know. There was a little girl in a dress, like a pinafore, and I couldn't see her face. And there were the initials, maybe C and S, I think. And then I don't really remember much. And then I saw this bridge, like a really beautiful suspension bridge going out over an ocean. But I couldn't see where it was going to. It was fog.
Yeah, this is what happens when we're doing it. It's not so much that you even hear the words I'm saying. Some of the words will be important for some people at certain stages of going into meditation. But this is what will happen, is it's flipping your own, abilities that you have with your own psychic intuitive abilities. So it was activating other things that were coming into your field of vision. And so what you want to do with that is to, again, things we see sometimes, many things that we see sometimes are parts of our own self, parts of our own consciousness. There are things being brought into present time. And so I would like, you could go in and say, okay, who are you? Why are you here? Why are you flashing? What are you doing? Yeah, and that suspension, it's interesting because I kept seeing that lack of separation and just that, like we were just all on this path. And I saw water, and I saw, it just felt that's very serene, very activated, like moving, but also very peaceful, but peaceful. And what was the word you used when you saw the suspension bridge over the water? It just felt, you didn't know where it was going, but it just felt like it was just peaceful.
Right. But it wasn't startling or scary. Right. It was just, I couldn't see where it was
because
going.
There is no end.
Yeah, there was just...
I am Alpha, I'm Omega, I'm the beginning and the end. There is no death. There is no end. Everything is a spiral. Everything is a bridge to infinity. There is no end. Yeah, there isn't an end. So, yeah. I kept feeling something over here, or kept feeling energies around me, like a lot of, I don't even know what to call it. It didn't feel necessarily like entities, but it could have been. I felt a lot of movement. There was a lot of energy moving right here. It's like swirling around. Yeah. Yeah. I felt a lot of healing going to everybody's bodies. I felt a lot of energy moving into your lungs and your entire. I just felt this. I felt like spirit was just glomming on energy into your body to heal you. A lot of transmutation there. I could actually see stuff kind of flying off of different people and being just gobbled up, just being transmuted. Anybody else want to share? Or just thinking what? Yeah, it's like we're definitely up and out. We were up in higher country. Yeah, we were up in the atmosphere. Yes, we were definitely. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, there's something about this particular space in here because this house is built right on the earth, and it's a really interesting, wonderful power spot. And it's just the way just the shape of the house. It just puts you right. You're just right out in the sky. Yeah, I felt that too. I felt just this beautiful sky energy kept coming in. So again, that healing of that illusion of separation. We're being cleansed of that sense of I'm here, I'm there, the earth is here, the sky is there. You know, I'm awake, I'm asleep, I'm alive, I'm dead. You know, it's just it's just the oneness is going to become more and more and more of a reality. It will literally become more and more and more of a reality. So.
It was like the sky was like not up there, right here.
Yeah, like it came down, like that ascend, like you know, if you ascend, like it was just in the space. Yeah, I love that. It's like, did it feel good? I hope.
Yeah, it felt
It's like, well, see, that's that thing. We have this illusion that heaven is somewhere here and this is somewhere there, and in reality, we're just in it. It's not separate from us at all. So, yeah, that's really good. Yeah, it just felt like the whole space opened up into like another dimensional energy. Felt really, really good. Definitely felt good. Does anybody have any questions or anything else you want to
When I
ask?
meditate, I go into, like, I have a special room that I go into. I have a procedure or a routine to go through. And then there's a door, and I go through the door, and I see so many people. Some people I know, some people I don't know, but some people I can see their face, but some people, they're just colors. You know, I see their auras. And with me, especially right now, you know, what I did was I went into there, and usually I'm asking them what they want from me. But today I asked them, you know, I need you guys here. Stay with me. Don't go away. Stay with me for the next couple of weeks because I'm really going to need you.
That's
You know,
good. See, you're opening to receive.
You know, be here.
Yep.
Be with me. Be present and let me
That's
know that
good.
you're with me. You know,
Because they are. That's what I kept feeling, was
know
all
they
this
are,
energy
there's
around you.
just so many, you know, and it's like the past lives that I have been regressed to, that I see people, and when you look at their eyes, you don't see their face, you see their other face.
Oh yeah.
That you
Oh
knew.
yeah. Oh yeah, absolutely.
And they're like, they don't understand why you instantly connect.
Right.
And you can't explain to them, well, I knew you before.
That's right.
Some people I have told them, you know. Some people I have told them, you know, we've been together before, and we're living this. We're living this again. I didn't get enough of you before, so God let you come back into my life.
Right.
You know, and sometimes, you know, it's a major thing, you know, where you're working out this karma.
Oh yeah.
And then when the karma's over, then they pass out of your life and you're gone.
Right. Exactly. Well, they're gone, but they're not gone. I mean, they're right.
Well, they're not in your
right. They're
presence
not in
anymore,
your
yeah.
right.
They're not physically.
It's finished.
in your face
It's
anymore,
right.
you know?
Exactly. Right. It's exactly right. It's exactly what's happening right now. Is there such a culminating of why we're here, what we're doing. Like I said, you're all going to have more and more and more and more aha moments of really getting that it's not 6 degrees of separation, but the fact that there is no separation. That whatever you are doing will become more and more synchronistically connected to the point where you go, oh my God, this is like, you know, because it is. It's not, we're not learning through repetition anymore. So there's no more dress rehearsals or trial runs. You're making direct hits with fulfilling your karma and being able to go into the Dharma, being able to go right into where you're supposed to be. And the things that were blocking you from actualizing things and manifesting, they're clearing up. Yeah, one of my biggest problems is with names. I can never remember people's names because I really think when I see people, that's not the name I used to know.
Right,
But
right.
because I get very confused in people's names. I'll go to introduce people and I cannot think of their names. It's like, oh my God. Or I want to call people other names. It's like, you know, yeah, that gets very tricky with the names. It's like,
Well, they look at you like, what? You
yeah,
know who I am? And it's like,
yeah.
you don't know how much I really
I really know who you are. That's right. I'm getting all these big pieces of stuff. Exactly. Yeah, it's exactly what's happening, and it's exciting. It really is it's overwhelming. It's wild. There's all kinds of things you can say about it, but the point is, it is constant movement. Go with it. Keep moving. Keep letting go of things. Keep in this energy, because it's a transformative transmutation that is like no other. And the more you just consciously embrace it, you don't want to fight it. I can tell you right now, a lot of people that are resisting it are really suffering. You're going to see a lot of suffering with people. We've talked about this in the past few weeks too, about there seems to be an ascent. People are either ascending up or they're spiraling down. There's not going to be a lukewarm, you know, there won't be this middle thing where people can stay stuck. It's like people are getting it, or they're choosing to spiral more down into their fear, and or whatever they need to do to keep, I guess, understanding. But they're not going to keep repeating things. They're just going to be, there's an ascension and a spiraling down that's going on. So you'll see it around you. You'll see people really, you'll see some wild things, because it's just, and it's going to look so much like things are abrupt, like things are just abruptly ending or beginning, but it's really been a process that's been happening for a long time. And now it's just hit this level, and it's just, things are finished, things are done, things are new, things are whatever. There's just this movement. So you won't, that being stuck in the past, you're not captured anymore. And again, it's learning what do I do with this newfound liberty? Because a lot of times it's so easy for us, if we do tend to be creative, spiritual, very open people, we will many times, without knowing it, find situations or people that we want to be controlled, that we want to be controlled in some way. But as you grow, you don't want that, okay? And it's like we're like snakes shedding your skin right now. So you're going to find yourself with this liberation. It's like getting used to taking more responsibility, finding more balance, not having things out of balance, where somebody else is like doing an extreme role around you, or the kind of job you have, or the kind of relationships you have. You'll be. But don't be afraid of that. Let yourself go into feeling and experiencing that newfound freedom. Don't be afraid of it, because that you're going to find a lot of that happening. Lots and lots of it. So, well, it's been wonderful tonight, and as always, I love being with everybody, and I send everybody love and healing energy. And just be good to yourself, be good to others, let that energy, let that light flow in and flow out, and just be at one with everything right now. Good night.